What is your favorite holiday tradition? Where did it come from? The most enduring and perhaps the most enjoyable holiday tradition is the annual celebration of Thanksgiving. From my perspective, it is now into its third generation, with the Hammett side of the family observing the typical American traditions from my childhood days. Early memories include Mom's early rising to prepare a turkey feast and awaking to the house-filling aromas of the roasting turkey and all the side dishes of stuffing, mashed potatoes with gravy, sweet potatoes, cranberry sauce from a can, and pumpkin pies. Other side dishes escape my memory presently. The center of life, the television, always featured Macy's parade and various football games. Seems like the weather was normally overcast, quite cool, and maybe rainy. Around noon, we would gather the entire clan around the dining table and dig deep into each master dish of Mom's creation. It was always a goal to be selected to devour an entire turkey leg. I don't recall there being much in the way of leftovers, but there was always enough turkey for one or two sandwiches later in the afternoon. I believe that is a tradition that survived into each division of the family in later years. I guess Mom got stuck with the kitchen cleanup even after cooking all morning. Being 9, 8, and 4 years behind my three brothers, the family began to fragment via attrition to college and new families while I was still in school. Finally, I was off to college and beyond, but the Thanksgiving holiday still attracted at least some of the family back to Montgomery from year to year. Later, as our little ones joined the greater family, we would often assemble at Nanny and Pawpaw's house for the traditions of the holiday. As time marched on and the cooking of a grand holiday menu became more difficult for the hosts, Faye would cook the entire meal in Chattanooga, and we would transport a couple of coolers of food, up to four children, and occasionally a pet, dog or duck, in the family van 250 miles south for the weekend. That part of the tradition continued quite a number of years, even after Pawpaw passed away. Almost every year during December, when school was out for Christmas break, we would again load the van and travel to Red Lion, Pennsylvania, for normally a 5-day visit with the Grove relations. The 12 to 14-hour drive was something we developed endurance of and enjoyed the frequent stops and refreshments along the highway. The stretching of legs, playing of finders keepers at the service stations, and finally reaching the destination was all part of the annual holiday traditions. For many of the early growing family years, we were not deeply into a focused celebration of Christmas due to our church's emphasis on Old Testament festival days, such as the Feast of Tabernacles, Passover, Feast of Trumpets, and so forth. It was nearly the turn of the 21st century, around 1995, we left behind the traditions of that former church and moved into the more popular traditions of mainstream churches, such as the Presbyterians. Not observing Christmas, Easter, and Sunday worship time tends to make one a bit of a cultist within the Christian community. My heart remains on the fringe of such holidays and mainstream traditions, knowing the non-Christian origins of most of the celebrations. But having the family together, enjoying the great meals, and lots of personalized gifts make the day into a lot of fun. One of the most anticipated family events of Christmas season for about 25 years has been breakfast at Waffle House. It was about that long ago that Faye was feeling under the weather, so we decided to go out for breakfast on Christmas morning. Waffle House was about the only restaurant open. That tradition has stuck all of these years, although it has become difficult to accommodate the dozen grandchildren and 5 families at Waffle House all at once. Following breakfast, the entire family assembles at the Tom and Fay Hammett home in Hickson for gift exchanges and large traditional Christmas feasts. Some of the daughters especially enjoy the Macy's parade and dog show, and after the meal, some occasional football is watched. Rosalie particularly enjoys tossing one of her footballs around outside. Growing up in Montgomery, there were years that our family attendance was required or chosen to be at the Blue Gray football game at Crampton Bowl. That was an all star game of select collegiate athletes from all over the country that would meet in Montgomery each year for a week of practice, culminating in a nationally broadcast holiday sports spectacular on Christmas Day. Outstanding bands were featured at halftime, including the Robert E. Lee High School Band. Johnny Long was a longtime leader of the festivities. The game brought a considerable amount of positive attention to the city of Montgomery. Being a public school teacher, boatloads of holidays were built into the calendar year, such as spring break, Christmas break, and of course, multiple weeks of summer break. Such extended breaks from normal work weeks were always refreshing and normally very productive for hobbies, travel, or gardening. Even with a couple of week holidays in the midst of cold winter, I still became quite adept at snow dancing and a concerted superstitious effort to extend snow days from school. Family holiday traditions have been a little fragmented and random as compared to many national traditions, but we have managed to note and celebrate in some fashion many normal occasions through the years.